Hello everyone, my name is Caleb Holmes. I'm the sales mentor for the South Central region, and I wanted to formally welcome you to the South Central Jumpstart orientation call. What we'll be doing today is very, very simple. We'll be walking through who I am and my job just real briefly. We'll also be talking about your Jumpstart expectations. We'll briefly discuss Atlas. We'll review some prospecting tips and tricks, and then finally we'll review what's next after your Jumpstart. Like I said, my name is Caleb Holmes. I'm the sales mentor for the South Central region. Basically, a sales mentor's job is to grow margin through the development of knowledge in the field. My job is to inspect and instruct on the Heartland methodologies, technologies, and products, as well as build relationships with management teams. And my common goal with the management team is to develop you as a self-sustaining and wealthy sales professional. How we'll do that is through a couple of different ways. The first way is through instructing and inspecting. And basically what that will look like is you and I will have a call once a week for about 30 minutes, and during that time we'll do just that. We'll role play, we'll review, we'll instruct, and we'll inspect. We'll also build a relationship together. So if you ever need anything, you can shoot me an email or give me a call and we can talk. And then the final thing there is my goal is to develop a self-sustaining, wealthy sales professional. To be honest with you, my primary goal is to see you have long-term success here at Heartland. A lot of people come in the short term and they do really well, and that's great. But the truth is, I'm more concerned about your long-term self-sustaining success. You're probably wondering what Jumpstart is, and that'd be a really great question. Again, hopefully you've reviewed those documents and things like that you have previously received from me. But what we want to do now is just really briefly discuss your Jumpstart. So your Jumpstart is very simple. You have 5 business days to schedule 20 appointments, or what we call opportunities. You'll also hear this referred to as FTA. So 5 business days to schedule 20 opportunities. Once you do that, then there'll be a new set of expectations for your full-time role as a relationship manager. So your performance expectations are very clear. You can see those listed here on the screen. We're going to expect you to set a minimum of 8 FTAs per week. The reason why we believe in this number specifically is because we know that if you set 8, you'll probably run closer to 4 or 5 or 6, because business owners just like you have a tendency to forget and reschedule appointments. We also know that new appointments lead to new margin on the board, and so we really believe in having a set number of FTAs a week, and we're looking for 8. And those will need to be in your calendar every week so we can keep track of those. We're also going to expect you to sell $10,000 of annualized margin per calendar month and 3 out of every 4 months. Very simply, what we mean by that is if in January and February you do really well, but in April you struggle for some reason, we would just expect you to get back to that $10,000 annualized margin in April. Okay, so $10,000 may sound like a lot, but the truth is it's not nearly as much as it sounds. The average deal at Heartland is somewhere around $1,500, and so we're only asking for about 5 or 6 deals a month, so not very many there. On top of that, we'll also expect you to have some daily recaps with your direct manager, and what that's going to do is it's going to keep you on track. Okay, it's going to keep you on track with your managers and keep you on track with your own personal goals as well. We mentioned this briefly earlier, but there will be some group calls this week that you'll need to attend. We'll expect you to attend those. You'll also have one-to-one calls with me, and then occasionally I will send you some homework that will need to be completed on weekly basis. The reason I send this homework is so that you can be prepared for our next calls. Typically, the people who I see who jump in, who complete their homework, are the people who are ready for their training on a weekly basis, and they're the people who are most successful here at Heartland. The people that do not do that are just not as successful. So a couple keys to success, like I talked about, really mastering those sales methodologies is really what's going to put you over the top. Specifically, what we're going to be talking about is setting appointments, running appointments, and then also closing those appointments. The other thing that I would really encourage you to do is figure out where you need to go for your resources. Okay, a consistent, successful RM knows where to go, they know where their resources are, and they know how to get the answers and support that they need. Most of the time that will be me as your sales mentor or your direct manager, but occasionally that will be somebody else in the service center, and we'll discuss that as we go along. But I want to really encourage all of you to master the setting of your appointments, the running of your appointments, and knowing where your correct resources are. Atlas. Atlas is a really phenomenal tool. Hopefully you all have seen pictures of Atlas. We're going to look at one here in just a second, but Atlas is our proprietary sales software. So you're probably familiar with things like Salesforce, which is a CRM tool. And basically, Atlas does those sorts of things. It has some of the CRM functions, but it takes things one step further. So you can see some of the functions there. You're able to do prospect searches, enter your coffee dates and your FTA, so enter your appointments. You're able to generate pricing proposals. Basically, everything you want to do as far as the sales process is concerned, you can do inside of Atlas. Now, if you haven't received access to this already, you should be receiving that access soon. And after the call today, I will be sending you an email with those correct training videos so you can get up to speed on Atlas. A little preview here of Atlas. This is kind of what the front page of Atlas will look like. And again, if you haven't received access to that just yet, you should be receiving that access very soon. So some prospecting tips and tricks. What you'll see here are 14 of the top 25 card prospects. These are the types of businesses that you're most likely to set, run, and close appointments on here at Heartland. All of these are low-risk places. These are businesses that are easy to get through our underwriting process because they typically have very few credit or underwriting issues. So as you're thinking through what kinds of businesses to talk through, specifically in the Jumpstart, these are the types of businesses that you want to go after. Not only that, but make sure that you're staying inside of your 4 spheres of influence. So think, where are you a customer? What are some past networking relationships that you have? Think through your previous books of business and your personal connections as well. Remember, our goal is to get you paid as much as possible, as quickly as possible, as well as get you familiar with the whole process. So take your time while thinking through these things. Think through that top 25 list that we just looked at, your 4 spheres of influence, and think who would be an easy target. Again, I just want to reset your expectations so everyone is on the same page here. We're really going to expect you to set good quality appointments, a minimum of 8 every week. We're also going to expect you to get to that $10,000 of annualized margin every month. And your managers and I will teach, train, and assist you to get over that $10,000 mark. That training with me is mandatory, and so I want to encourage you to jump into that. Again, like I've said before, people who attend the training are wildly successful, and those who do not commit themselves are just simply not as successful. And then the last thing I would say here is make sure that you're having a daily recap call with your direct manager in order to keep yourself on track with your goals and your manager's goals for you. So over the next 30 days, over the next month, what we'll expect you to do is master the art of setting appointments. We'll also expect you to know and be familiar with and witness Heartland's way of running an effective appointment, as well as knowing where your resources are. So, what's next this week? This week, you will have a series of group calls, which I will send the login information for after your call here with me today. I will send you that information through a system called Acuity, which we'll talk about more in just a second. But you'll have calls Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time about the topics you see listed here on the page. The purpose of these calls is to get you up to speed as quickly as possible to give you a jump start to your career. It's imperative that you attend these calls. Again, they are vital and a key to your success, so it is imperative that you attend these. If for some reason something comes up and you're not able to make these calls, please let me or your manager know so that we can get you scheduled for the next calls. The final thing I would say is this. I'm going to send you the Atlas training videos to your personal and Heartland email following this call so that you will be able to get up to speed on Atlas as quickly as possible. I'm also going to send you emails from a website called Acuity with the login information for the rest of your training calls for this week. Okay, so be looking for 2 emails from me. One of them will come from a website called Acuity, and the other one will be from my personal email account here at Heartland. If for some reason you do not receive these emails, please let me know and I will resend them. So please reach out to me if you have any more questions. I know that not everything comes to people's brains right away, but please reach out to me if you have any further questions. Again, I look really forward to your success, and I'm excited to have you join the Heartland team.